Hey, Era. How were the new? I didn't get to go. My car wouldn't start. My battery is smoked. I'm pretty confident. We'll see for sure tomorrow. Alice got to go. Thankfully her mom showed up and took her, but I did not. Forgot I was live. I was reading about fishing. They're already planning next year's fishing schedule and arguing over it. And it just ended like 2 weeks ago. Alright, I gotta up my size again. These are too small. How's fishing been, Era? You getting there? Getting close? Nice. Where are you fishing? Are you still on Bream? Spinny top water bikes, yeah. Where you at, Old Bird? Ah, that sucks, Juju. Yeah, I think we've all done the helicopter thing without hurting our rods. Boop, 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 boop. I love saltwater fishing. I need to get back down there eventually. It's been a long time now. Shame dance. Alright, my bite died. I might need to reposition. And Blake. Actually, it's just because I went back up a size. When it was small, the bite rate's good. And then you go up a size and cry. But catch fish that are more substantial and almost makes it worth it. I think there's even a time of the year where you can get lucky and catch sailfish from shore, Juju. I'm pretty sure I saw a guy on the pier say he hooked into one. You can't break your Narga if you want to. I mean, maybe. You could if you wanted to, I guess. But you'd have to have spent a lot of silver. What is it? What is it? It's a fucking common carp. Yeah, I'm trying so hard to max this skill. And I feel like I've got to commit now. I just got to get it done. Be the very best. How are they? There's kite fishing? Oh, like trolling? It seems incredibly unnecessary. I mean, that's still trolling in my book, but it seems incredibly unnecessary. Y'all ain't never heard of floats? I just don't get what kite fishing is adding. Like, and what a fucking metric shitload of gear to do it. it's not just a kite. These kite fishing kits are like $2,500. The kite basically just holds your bait higher up in the water column while simultaneously assisting in boat drift. So you're kind of just using the wind as a bobber and to drag your boat a little faster than it would naturally blow in the wind. Though no, they're using a drift sock, so no, I think they're trying to stay kind of stationary. Sign for deployable live bait. It just adds movement to the topwater bait. Doesn't a bob? That's what I'm saying. Just use a float. A float and like a choppy day, and you've got kite fishing without spending $4,000. But fishing's funny, man. People like to get a lot. This specifically says dead bait or live bait. And seeing kites in the air. I'm just saying, if a dude's fucking hanging fishing lines from a kite, I'm gonna think he knows a lot about fishing. Yeah, live bait struggling or dead bait skipping. If it's just live bait, then I really don't get why not just use a float. It keeps the bait further away from you, but I'm sure there's a better way to do that. I don't know. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But I don't think things like sail fishing and tuna fishing are a poor man's game. I'd definitely try it. If somebody was like, hey, would you like to go kite fishing with me today? I'd go. For sure. But even if the fish were biting really good, I'd be super tempted to just throw out a bobber and see if it was equally effective. I mean, I'm not a tuna fisherman, so I don't know, Blake. And those fish can be worth thousands of dollars, so maybe that's... I'm not even sure if it's bluefin. I think it's actually going to be like mahi-mahi or something. Some weird tuna. That's not a tuna, that's like a... one of the smaller tunas, though. That's my guess. I need to reset for happy hour, I think. Is there any way to check if you've used your happy hour for the day? No, they just call it a dolphin, I think, Dreams. It actually isn't a porpoise or whatever. Yeah, the dolphin fish is also called mahi-mahi. It's not related to a dolphin because it's not a mammal. Yeah, sailfish, dolphinfish, and tuna. Marlin, king mackerel, tarpon, sharks, Freshwater bass. Alright, come on now. If somebody wants to go fucking freshwater bass fishing with a kite, I'm gonna shoot their kite out of the air. Yeah, most of those fish, when you're at out in the water, are very, very aggressive, and if you can find them, fairly easy to catch. From what I was explained by a charter captain, the ones that like live, like the tarpon that live around fucking piers and stuff like that, they're a lot harder and a lot more line shy and things like that. Well, ain't really 11 months. Yeah, I've been pier fishing a lot when tarpon are active. It's funny to watch everybody chase after them, dropping bait in on their heads. And then watching the tarpon go, nah, dude, this whole area is full of bait. I'm just going to eat them instead. This kite fishing even has a bobber included. Even comes with a float. In case the kite isn't doing its job, here's a bobber. What if the wind lets out? Then you got your bobber to back you up. Oh, it is the big tuna, the 900-pound tuna, as seen in this really awesome illustration. 900-pound tuna. Hopeless bluefish. Takes an extra rod for the kite. I didn't even add in the cost of an extra rod. I mean, I'm sure it works. Is kite fishing worth it? The whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You have to have an electric reel to wind in the kite because the kite's too fucking heavy. That's nutty. I love it. I love the ridiculous things people come up with to catch fish. No update on Old Man Micropenis' story because I haven't been able to go down to the restaurant. Got nothing. I'll find out tomorrow. Tomorrow's the first day the restaurant will have been open in a while. Alright, it's time to reset. Do our happy hour for better or worse. No, I don't want to sign out because I'm afraid of what'll happen. Well, everybody on this here website, Juju says, you won't want to ever reel in a kite twice. The kite itself isn't that expensive. I mean, they're like expensive, but it's the everything else. It's a pretty crazy setup. There are some guys who say on a slow day it's worth it, but it's a seriously ridiculous setup. I love it. I'm going to use one in my bass fishing tournaments. We have no tackle rules. Get out there with a kite and a popper. Chad, I need like $3 grand for a kite. Thanks. Most guys on there just said kite fishing is a more interesting way to catch them because the boat is stationary. So you have to fight the fish more, where normally you're trolling for them and you just reel them in. I guess I'll just try here first. You don't want to add on kite, right? That's what I'm thinking. And a lot of guys did say it's an insane learning curve to keep the kite out of the water. I mean, I've tried to fly a kite. It doesn't always go well. There are times it crashes into the ground. Oh, damn it. Alright, fish, be here. You get like 5 minutes before I head back over. It's dark. Oh man, you can get kites with birds on them. That way the fish thinks it's just a bird. What are teaser birds? I don't know. I clicked on them and I still don't know. Ah, the teaser bird, made of high-impact plastic, wired with welded stainless bar for maximum strength, has pre-drilled holes to convert every bird into a bird bar. Duh. Truly the best tuna teaser on the market. That's a big advertisement there. I myself am the best tuna teaser on the market. Oops. Ain't no fish here. This place sucks. Run away. It's my happy hour. Bam, 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 down, down. Go quad bike. Is there a place where they actually call them quad bikes? Or is that just a bad translation? I went the wrong way. There goes 10 minutes of my happy hour down the drain. Wasted. Water. It's in Russian. Or Russia, inebriated. That's it, man. It's the least complicated video game name of all time, but somehow causes mass confusion. The 4, I think, is what does it. I haven't fished here in forever. Maybe there'll be fish. And it differs because there's different fish in different parts of the world. Now, I have nothing big enough for planer boards. And different techniques, actually, to a degree. Thank you, Inebriated, for the Prime sub. Much, much appreciated. Those Bezos bucks. Yes, they are saying they're going to branch out of Russia, and then the name won't make sense anymore, but for now I can still just say it's Russia. But yeah, as an American, a lot of these fish were foreign. They're still foreign to me, but I had no idea they existed until playing this game. We do have some similars, but not many. I'd say like 10% is all, probably. And it's mostly salmon. Salmonoids that we share. A few invasive carp. He did get his ship back, Derek, yes. And a nice letter saying, "Don't be an idiot, idiot." Me, motherfucker, what are you gonna do about it? Throw hands? Take that. Hands thrown. Thrown. Try to throw back. You can't. It's abuse of power. I'm taking your freedom of speech. Also, I hear trout are quite invasive as well. Like, specifically rainbow trout and steelhead are considered like one of the top 10 most invasive species on the planet. I read last night or the other night. Should have just went back to my spot. Everywhere else sucks. There goes 15 minutes of my happy hour. Rainbow trout tastes just like every other trout. Fish is so similar, except like the weird salmonoids and tunas. The rest are like the same. They have slight variances, I know. I can taste it, but it's so mild. swordfish is pretty unique? Probably. I'm poor, so I don't know that I'll ever taste a swordfish. By the time I can afford one, they'll probably be extinct. I bet dolphin tastes tight, though. I'm willing to say it. They look delicious. Yeah, whitefish is fine. But they're the one, that's the one that specifically like all the same. Whale's actually amazing, then dolphin has to be too. Them's the rules. Probably better. That's weird that whale's amazing, because elephants taste like shit. You see the comparison? Big animals. Giant mammals. I haven't ate an elephant. However, there's been like since like the beginning of white men traveling to elephant territories, there's been records of elephant taste like shit. And like borderline inedible. Some like tribes ate their feet in like a elephant foot jello. Gelatin, I guess. Nah, dude, elephant apparently can't. It's why they're not extinct. I would bet all my money on it. That guy said whale was amazing. Now I'm getting mixed stories. I gotta Google it in a minute. Ooh, bottom fishing went up. Yeah, we fucked their population up just by poaching for tusks. Imagine if they tasted good too. How does whale taste? Oh, it's fine. According to the internet, and I trust the internet, it's fine. And would compare more to gamey mammals than a fish. And is frequently served without much preparation. Like straight up. You had some whale on Sunday in a layover in Iceland. Wait, what? But you didn't, did you say how it was? I didn't see your rating. How many stars did you give it? Doesn't sound much like a delicacy when you can just get it at a layover in Iceland. I also had puffin. I love you card. A little rhinoceros for dessert. Ah, chocolate cake. That's fair. But how was the whale, motherfucker? And the puffin? Would you order either again? Don't buy a baitcaster. Puffin was better. Do you normally prefer poultry? Puffins do look alright. The problem with baitcasters is it's its entire own set of skill points too, right? And the reel isn't shared amongst any other rods. It's a big investment for something that has one use, unlike everything else in this game. Huh. They said whale can be gamey, but I like gamey. Some people do, some people don't. You couldn't eat a puffin? Really? I would have never guessed you'd be a bitch about a puffin. It's a bird, dude. I could not only eat it, I wouldn't have any issue killing it. Just don't care for birds much. Anyway, according to this, whale is similar to reindeer or moose. Oh wow, it looks like reindeer or moose. Hell yeah, card. You might as well eat it now before, you know, they're dead anyway. I've said this for a long time. Like, if the last of a species, you might as well eat it. $30 for each, so it wasn't terribly priced. No, I think you'd pay more for whale, dude. I've paid $30 for a mediocre steak. I couldn't afford to eat either of those, but like, I agree with you. And when's the next time you're going to get the opportunity to eat either? Most exotic animal you've had? I don't know what the most exotic would be for me either. I've had bear and reindeer and moose and elk and alligator and emu and ostrich and those are like the basic bitch ones though. Nothing super. Some kangaroo. Baby eels. Raw. Alive. Still shocking. Aren't the little... No. That's little scorpions, not little eels. Looked like black pasta noodles. Maybe they just lied to you. No, they tasted like raw baby eels? Oh, okay. Right? Eat a puffin. Snake's fine. It's not anything special. Somebody talk this man out of a baitcaster. Don't be supportive of bad ideas. He's level 16. He's level 16, Juju. Yeah, he doesn't even have one big reel yet. Yeah, no, all the fun shit, do it at your leisure when you have a basic setup, a basic package to buy junk like that. How does dolphin taste? Not a lot of people Google that one. Similar to beef liver. Very high in mercury and may pose a health danger to humans when consumed. Oh. Weird, Liz. Come on, fish. I need to catch them faster. Oh, I got 2 ups. No, I didn't. Just 1, I'm lying. 2 total today, though. Yeah, the problem with doing it super early is skills, man. Because you have to level it on its own to get that distance and accuracy. Thanks, Blake. Donkey? No. Not a donkey. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Juju. It's fun with undersized gear. And those reels are like cheap enough to just beat them up anyway. As soon as you get a 10 kilo or a 14 kilo, you'll never go back to those shitty fucking reels. I'm sleepy. So sleepy. Even compared to fucking Oldberg. Corey's better than Oldberg. Because it's way more fun to chase him around in a boat than to run around on foot. Yeah, I use a Saber 60 as well. I think that was the only 10 kilo reel I bought. Then someone gave me the Sputnik. Then I bought a Narga. This reel sucks. No, the reel was from Morlack, I think. Somebody. But oh, I gotta start fucking cleaning out my damn house. That's gonna be a pain in the ass. I think I'm just gonna like box up all of my fucking, mostly Alice's shit that she doesn't really use that often, and put it away in the barn. That way I'll be like half moved out, just in case it sells. Dreaded moving time? Not yet. I haven't even gotten close to it yet, but if I'm gonna show the house and stuff like that, it needs to be less of a cluttered mess. Fingers crossed it sells. Where are we moving? And we don't know. We didn't plan ahead. Into the barn? It's actually a possibility, Twisted. Yeah. I can't live with my father because he's a chain smoker and a sex addict. And I don't want to be around either of those things. Yeah, the market's definitely cooling off. I should have sold it 6 months ago, but I was hoping I'd be able to keep it, but I just can't. There's just, it's not even, it was more of a dream that I'd be able to keep it, get it to where I wanted it someday, and like, that's just unrealistic. We have a big barn that's like, commercial and stuff. That thing looks gold. What is that? It's just a common, ain't it? Is that albino or something, or am I crazy? I don't feel like I've ever seen this fish before. Oh no, that's like albino or something. What a weird little freak. Sorry to albinos in chat, that was rude. But he's a fish. And I'm mean to fish. Oh, he's big too. Like kind of big. Oh, that's cool looking. Oh, this one's a decent size too. Another chonk. Didn't get a skill up for that albino, sadly. You're out of boilies? Was I? Did I just throw it out with just corn on it? It's fine, it'll work. I'm running out of ground bait already, too. I was just running double. I'm running straight strawberry as well. Really setting my own meta here. I didn't feel like vanilla was helping. I accidentally set double strawberry on this pole to the right, and it was just going crazy. So now I'm just straight strawberry. Little vanilla in my ground bait. Yeah, pole drag. We like those noises. A couple days ago, a lot of people were catching reds off the town dock, but I haven't seen one in a minute now. Did I throw this out with no boilie on it? Oh no, it's got a boilie on it. This guy's fucking just a liar. And a bad friend. I haven't caught any of the red ones yet. I'm still missing so many of the shinies. Its fish parents would have eaten it, Trevor. That's what fish do. Might as well be you, man. Oh, Papa Boiley's a strawberry. Never Van. Always Vanny. With a number 2 lure? The lure doesn't, well, it does. Never mind. But it's the weight that matters on the lure. So we need to know the weight. When you're looking at a rod, the rod will have a stat that says test, like 10 to 30. Meaning it'll throw 10 gram to 30 gram lures. Okay. It'll throw the mid to high end of that very well. But the low end, the things that are like 10, 11, 12 grams, it won't throw exceptionally well, but it'll throw them decent. A 31 gram will damage the rod and potentially break it. Same with IRL. That's like the number one and two ways to break a rod. It's not actually catching a fish. People think, oh my God, look at that rod bent. Like, that's what a rod is designed to do. But number one and two ways to break a rod is you close it in a door or a lid or something, or you cast lure that's way too heavy for the rod. Hitting a ceiling, yeah. Those are the ways rods usually get broken. They're meant to bend. That goes fishing. I just caught an albino, so that was exciting. Look at him. Look at this beautiful boy. Oh, that sucks, Daz. Yeah, some of the fish, they put some like really nice little details into them. Like the crayfish is my favorite looking one. The fish are all a little too shiny, a little too wet. Hit with lacquer, but not lacquer to lacquer. They're different. No, my fish, where'd they go? Hey, Jake. Thank you for the raid. Are you fishing tonight? Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, I don't have a pike problem on Corey. Y'all trolling that shallow shit. Weird small species. I'm just trying to get this last bit, man. 1 point. I think the last time you were here was like 2.7. So actually, I've made okay progress. 1.3, baby. Wax stick, thank you for the 77 months. It's a good thing I hadn't fished amber that much. It got the grind is feeling very... I tell all of my viewers to not focus on the grind and to just, you know, fuck off, but here I am. It feels like a nice point for me to take a break from RF again, though. Unlock PVA, put it down until a new map comes out. Man, it's usually what I do. I bought my Tagara and then like never used it. I was like, yep, got one. See ya. Then the next year, I saved up for an Overlord for Christmas. That was it. Got it. See ya. But then I have that shit for the next time I come back. Which I will. I always come back. By the time I come back, people like Blake and Jin and these guys will be level 30 and they won't need me to keep yelling at them for having builds wrong and things will be good. And then I'll get a whole new group of fresh idiots that I gotta try to train to fish. Come on, fish. Why the game gotta kill me on my happy hour? You couldn't save enough for the overload to hit Silver 80 instead? Silver 80 seems like a fine reel, dude. Like, it's a sweet spot for trolling and stuff like that, I think. Especially for the price point. I know it's, as far as I know, it's still not on any meta lists, but if you're a guy like me who can't grind good, I think the Overlord, or the Silver is a strong choice for trolling. Still holds a fuckload of line, too. You're a few hundred from a second Sagara. I'm 5 grand. I'll come out. That's right. I'll have to come back before Christmas because I think I'm just gonna buy another Overlord, and then I'm gonna buy 2 TIs, and then I'm gonna save for Vengas, which will never happen. I'll never achieve Vengas. Never. You went with the Mugara instead of a Tagara, huh? Why? What's the logic there? I've never heard of this. Huge spool. It's an 8,000 size reel. Tagara's a 10,000 size reel. Is it really a bigger spool? At least where I come from, a 10,000 size reel is bigger than an 8,000 size reel. Spool size. Hey, Mr. Muir. Oh no, I've run out of corns. $200 meters of 36. 200? Bro, I got 300 meters of 39 kilogram. Oh, you said mono though. Mono? Alright, I don't know what's going on in this game anymore when people are running mono and buying Magaras. Or is or maybe you're just a, you know, against the grain kind of guy. I dropped my reel assist on the ground. I need it back. This one's gonna be a while. Fun for carp. Alright, now I'm feeling like an asshole here, but why is mono fun for carp? Because, like, everything I know, braid is for carp. I just don't know why it's fun, though. Because, like, shouldn't the bite rate be lower? Doesn't destroy your line guides. Now that is a fact. I do check these line guides. I can't check these line guides though. That is true. This part I stand behind. You are correct there. That's true. He could still be running a braid leader with mono main, which would be fine. Actually, what I should probably do. Yeah, that makes sense. Actually, I wouldn't use the word fun to describe that, but I should probably do that when I'm fishing anything but giants. With my Tagara and my Overlord. Because I don't need the spool size. Like, I don't know, what's the biggest fucking common out here? Maybe the biggest common could run my spool ragged on a Tagara. But I ain't gonna catch that. I ain't even got points in that shit. I'm still using an HSV. Look at me go. It is 1 more kilogram than a Tagara though, right? I wish the reels felt more varied. Like, I wish I could find more justifications. It also has a higher break strength. So you could try to do some more. It is at the point where you could do some locking small sturgey fishing. There's a 50 kilogram carp on amber. Yeah, that'd probably run my Tagara pretty ragged. I need my line then. I was pretty upset. Which one, Nick? Will you all love your ability to get gear in this game with or without premium? Yes, you will. 100%. What do you suggest to focus on as you're leveling and all? I don't think you need to focus. I think you need to avoid getting distracted. So what I mean by that is spinning reels are great. Someone in the chat was talking about wanting to buy a baitcaster really bad at low level. while everything has its place in this game and is good for something, early on, try to focus on things that have multiple uses. So spinning reels are what most of us focus on early, because you can use the same spinning reels for bottom fishing as you can for on your spinning setups and on your bologna setups, whatever they're called, bolognese. So don't get distracted by the niche fishing. Focus on what you enjoy the most. I think you should always get a couple of bottom rods early, just because it gives you the option to fish with 3 rods. 2 bottom rods and a float, 2 bottom rods and a spin. That gives you the ability to make decent money early, but you don't have to focus. We've had plenty of guys whose focus has been spin fishing early and go to Balea and do great there, and plenty of guys whose focus has been float or bottom fishing and they go to Oldberg and do great there. So find which one you like and enjoy the ride. We did have a blast, Nick. Yeah, our season's about to come to a close. We got one more tournament on the season. It was a league. We did 2 different leagues this year. I did one with my little brother, which has been fun. And then I did one with a buddy of mine. Me and my buddy did pretty good. Me and my little brother didn't do great, but we had fun. We ended in the top half of the league, but didn't win many monies. Many monies. Yeah. I think the big problem with this game, especially because it's been out for so long and so many people just give advice as if they're giving advice to a level 35 player, is that people can really overload you with like unnecessary information. A guy jumps on the game, he's level 2, and they're getting into like what leader sizes they should use and braid to fluoro, and like just fish for a while. Just fish. Focus on learning to fish. Another thing, if you're breaking your shit, it's your fault. If you're breaking rods, if you're breaking reels, if your line is breaking before it's completely pulled out of the spool, if the spool is empty, that just means the fish stole all your line. You lost that fight. That's fine. That happens. But if your line is snapping, if your leaders are snapping, if you're fucking breaking rods and reels, you're doing something wrong. Your setup is wrong. Take the time to figure it out, because it'll save you a fortune and a lot of frustration. Is your fault. It's like triple your fault, because we've all tried to help you walk through it. And it's like 4 pieces. It's not like your gear is like 78 complex biddies. It's 4 pieces. Yeah, small incremental gear upgrades are kind of a trap. Ugh. That was a lot bigger fish than I expected. However, trying to jump too big can also be incredibly frustrating when you only have one really good reel and the other two are garbage, because a lot of the times you're going to be using your garbage reel to land the fish instead of your good one. Don't call you out like that. No, I went with you on that strategy, Ura. And then I sent you a 7.5 kilo reel because I felt guilty about, like, maybe it wasn't the best strategy. But I don't know. Would it really have been any different if you bought a 10 kilo reel? Because you'd still have to save up for a second one. He jumped straight to an HSV. He went from pro light spinning kit for like $300 to an HSV. So basically from a Lacardi to HSV, yeah. You cried and woke up? Aw. That's fair. I was just talking shit about you all. The Saber's a fine reel, yeah. I did similar Gravis, yeah. I didn't do 3 HSVs because they didn't exist. But yeah, the setup stuff is like, let me make sure this is actually a good setup. This is not a good setup. It's a more complicated setup that still works, though. But I won't use that as an example because I don't want to confuse people. So this is a closer to good setup, but still kind of close to bad. So your rod is always your biggest piece. Always the biggest thing you want in your setup. Followed by your line, which should be smaller than your rod. I have played enough to know that I'm not afraid of this because I always have a leader on that's smaller than my line. Your leader should always be your weakest link as far as what's gonna break. Now here's the confusing part. This is the part that fucks everybody's brain up. It's reels. Reels have what is their max drag. The drag is when your line pulls out of the reel and how much strength it takes to pull the line out of the reel, which is more than I have. That's drag. So the max drag in this reel is 25 kilograms. Your line needs to be bigger than your max drag if you want to be able to turn your friction brake up to 29, which means using the full strength of your reel is turning it up to 29. The problem with that is there's a secret stat that's not given to you in the game that is the actual strength of the reel. So if I took all the line off of this reel, I just tangled it. If I took all the line off of this reel, the only thing that would be left is a knot tied to the spool of the reel, which the game calls the mechanism. So there's a break strength where if something pulled hard enough, it'd actually explode your reel, rip the fucking spool right off the goddamn thing and break your reel. That's the mech strength. It's a hidden stat that isn't available in the game. There are cheat sheets for popular reels where people have done that science for us. But you can always assume that your mech strength is at least, and usually significantly more than 20% of your max drag. So that's the confusing part. That's the part that fucks people's head up, is not understanding. It's happy hour and I wasted it talking. Rip this day. But that's the part that always confuses people, is real strength versus max drag, because it's not an available stat. So yeah, it should always be the weak link in your setup should always be your leader. Unless you're not running a leader, then it would be your line. However, that still needs to be stronger than your drag, because your drag is not something that can break. It's just when your line pulls out. And the game does a good job of including kind of like a force feature. If you've noticed, The reason you can't just run... There's a couple reasons you can't just run, like that was a 25 kilo reel, we'll say, just for simplicity's sake. The reason you can't just run 25 kilo line on that is because when a fish pulls hard, all that force applies and it'll actually pull. Your drag won't let out fast enough, basically, which is a very realistic thing. It won't instantaneously start pulling out line. It'll actually put a little extra pressure on, which happens a lot in real life. If your drag is too high, snap your line because of that quick jerking energy. And the other reason you want to run oversized line is line wear, which is another thing you've got to pay attention to, is wear. Because that weakens everything. If you click this little gear, you can actually see individual breakdowns of what's wearing out. As your friction brake wears out, that's just like a 1-to-1, you're losing strength from your reel. So 10% worn out friction brake, your reel is just 10% weaker. That's it. Grease is the thing to replace most often because it helps keep everything else from wearing out faster. Fuck line guides, apparently. Jesus Christ, I have 38% on this thing already? That jerking energy. Impacts. Whatever you want to call it. The same thing like when we dealt with cars growing up. Like, there's a big difference between lubricant that is just for things that rub and things that impact. Like the difference between motor oil and transmission fluid. One's a lot thicker and heavier to help with the impact. Good guides on rod builds and where and how to use those builds. Probably some guides exist. Are they good? They're probably better than average. I think a lot of the guides are like super meta driven, man. Like I do think with reels, the meta of reels is pretty good. Follow it. It's a pretty solid meta. But as far as like what to fish, how to fish, where to fish meta, I don't agree with that. How to level skills, I don't agree with a lot of that. It may be the fastest way, which in some people's minds is the most efficient way, but like, for instance, bait harvesting. The number one way people level bait harvesting is making like 30,000 egg dough and spending like 10,000 silver. To me, that's stupid. Because most of the time people end up doing it way before they need it done. They don't really have the gear to even justify it, and they're doing it. If you just shovel and cut fish and squish fish, you'll level bait harvesting naturally as you level and still have it done before you have fucking vangas and need those fancy baits. But early levels and early game, I would build your own shit because it doesn't really matter. Like most early setups are like less than 500 silver. That's nothing. That doesn't mean shit. Like this setup here, wait no, this setup here is my cheapest setup, and it's still like $4 grand or something. It's at least 3,500. So like, fucking up a 300 silver early game build, it'll still work. It'll still do good enough, but it'll let you learn how to make a setup and understand the setups a little more, personally. That's how I figured it out. And I still have some off-meta rods. I don't think lure making is that big of a trap grab if you don't overdo it. But if you just want to fucking make a couple of spoons, it's when you decide low level, I'm going to get lure making to 100, that it's a trap. Or I'm going to rush lure making to 80. Lure making is probably the least effective one, though, because so many people are willing. Anyone who's leveled it is like almost ecstatic when someone asks for a lure, because they spent like tens of thousands of silver leveling it, and then they made themselves one of each lure and went, now what do I do with this skill? Is it more than 25 grand, Jake? Now what do I do with this skill? I started leveling it and then I got there. And was like, I didn't get to 100, but I got to like 70 something. And I was like, I have one of each of the lures. This feels lame. If there was more customizing of the lures, maybe it would be more fun. Come on. Okay, I'll net you. Or you'll swim away. I ain't gonna fucking touch him. Touch him. Touch him. Got him. Never used the high-end crafted lures. I don't even know what the last steps are. I think I'm at like Balsamino or something is where I quit. It was pretty cheap to get to here. I don't think I spent more than a couple grand. But still, I wish I had that couple grand back. Oh, yeah. I mean, jerkbait is one of those other techniques. Do you have a jerkbait rod, Jake? But jerkbait's another of those techniques that's like super hard to invest in because it's so specific. Use it twice, yeah. The balsa minnows have been like the best for a long time from crafting, I think. The spinners used to be a lot better. I don't see them as often as I used to. Crackle, thank you for the 15 months. Ultralight's another trap, I think, honestly. Like, yeah, it's fun. So when you get to the point where you're ready to spend stupid money on fun, go ahead. But if you buy it thinking, like, I'm going to set records and make money, and you're just not. You're just not. The only ultralight of value is telescopic. Because when you're bleak fishing, when you're gudgeon fishing, when you're doing these extra fishing things, other fishing things, then that's when I accidentally get records. Great for experience. Experience is irrelevant, though. You're never, ever going to need it. You're going to think you do. You're going to go, man, I really want to unlock this next lake so bad. Let me buy premium right now so I can unlock this lake. But you don't need to, like, it doesn't help anything. It only helps your impatience, I guess. Yeah, it's fun. They're fun. And I don't have anything against the fun setups. I just don't think they're worth investing in for financial reasons until you're set up better. And to me, set up better is like 3 Tagaras. I really should have bought my 3rd Tagara. You don't get enough skill ups? What? I guess, sure, maybe. But I have like skill ups that I don't even think are that good. 15% too grindy? I love that it's grindy. It's just like always I'll always, as long as I'm alive, I'll have an excuse to come back and play because there'll still be something to get. think I want to spend 1 more point in spinning. Because I don't care about anything else. And then it's unlocking carp rig levels. So I don't feel like I'm starved for skill points, because that's it. I'm done once I do those. I don't think there's any points for sandwich, no. Maybe someday I'll care about these if I ever buy a big telestick, but by then I'll have the skill points. My skills for making ground bait maxed. It's only 5 points. Bait harvesting's maxed. I don't have any points in cooking. There isn't any. I don't have any in making lures because I've abandoned this tree. So yeah, I mean, I only need, like, genuinely at the moment, maybe 9 points? I don't know if these ever really come into effect anymore. Like, classic pop-up obviously seems to be king right now. But I don't think maggot rig or method rigs are ever really relevant once you have PVA. I feel like there was a time that snowman rig was good. But it might have just been the fact that I skipped out on some dumb shit, like 3 points in marker. And whoever Chod is. Feeder rod skill is important. Why? I'm never going to use a feeder rod again. Ever. It's a dead rod. If anything, picker rod. That is one that at some point I might use. Yeah, that would be 7 points. That I will someday probably want. But feeder's dead. That's why when the last reset came in, I just abandoned it for carp. Yeah, no, the feeder rods don't work with any of the big reels. I still use a feeder rod. It's right there. It still does its thing. I should replace it, but I'm cheap. Three levels, Juju. Yeah, the fish control thing. I've been using this fucking feeder rod for like, I don't know how long without any skill points in it. And I don't feel like I lose a lot of fish on it. I don't know if control actually has anything to do with losing fish or just energy burn. If it's energy burn, I don't know that it's even that big of a deal on picker. Because like, I don't feel like you're ever throwing picker rods super far, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a place where you fucking need to yeet 75 meters to catch tiny fish. If I did say, if they add any more techniques, the game will have a skill point kerfuffle. However, I do think there are some things they could eliminate to help with that as well. Make some more shared attributes to adjust for that. Yeah, no, pickers, like, I think the biggest picker rod is tiny. Boating bait fish trick someone found? Like, it worked? Because me and fucking Hardcore have been jokingly trying bait fish from a boat for a long time. Without any success. Dust masking for 31 months. Oh, the biggest picker is bigger than I expected. What a guy. Look at all those quiver tip options. Ooh. Who actually fucks with their tips? Not me. Tryhards. Oh, you just mean as a, like a cheat tactic? I don't even call that like a exploit. That just feels like it should be a thing. I haven't found many sick jumps, no, unfortunately. They should add ramps. Might be time to relocate. Fine, I'll scoop. I don't know. That would only be used. Can you set clips that high? If I could set a clip to like 300 meters, that might be useful. Okay, like 100 meters. I don't know. You can even set a clip that high, maybe. Then yeah, like Arky, I could see doing that with bait fish. But you're paying a lot of money to use a boat to do that. Clip ends at 60? Oh, I can cast further than that. Why do I care about that then? That's not advantage anything. You can just throw that far. Well, like except with like a really heavy bait fish. Yeah, where's my record cast? Yeah, 96 meters. That's probably like running at a cliff or something, but still. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, I just cast on Ladoga and catch a lot of char. They're just never good on bleak, unfortunately. I've got like one. And I've fished that fucker harder than any man. I think my quad's expired, ain't it? Bitch. Let's try here again, even though Noel's up filthy liar and there's no fish over here. I don't remember how far he said. I feel like it was a weird number. Yeah, it definitely wasn't that far, but we'll try it. I don't remember how far he was saying to throw here. That looked nice. I have this weird feeling it was 17. Wow, Noel, you abandoned your own hotspot? You didn't tell me how far to cast? Doesn't matter, I'm catching fish already. Hot spot. It was 17. 30 did it, though. Is shitfish? Who came up with 17? Did you just make that number up? Where'd you steal this spot from? Who was it? Jasky just walked out here last night with like fucking honey dough. Chucked it out. Random place he chose in his own brain and started slamming them. It's RF4 in a nutshell? No, it's not. RF4 in a nutshell is went to Discord, looked at hotspots, did exactly what they told me. That's RF4 in a nutshell. It's worse than Magic the Gathering. You can, Dreams, but it's not what people do. And sometimes you really want to try. But then you remember what it's like to not catch fish. So you go and ask chat what spots they looked up on the Discord so that you don't have to be guilty of the same crime. sticklebacks never loved you. Just like my ex-wife. Always fun. There's baby fish here. I feel like it's been a while since I found a hot spot anywhere that's like lasted. That's a grassy. It's not a, like, I mean, maybe he's good at it, Juju. I don't know the guy or even who the fuck you're talking about. But I do think there's a very, very, very small number of RF4 content creators. And it's very easy for them to have a giant influence. Oh, is VK like a place, a site? It's Russian Facebook. Okay. Thought it was a person. Because I remember when I was bait fishing gray char. And like, everyone kept coming in the stream like, I'd never seen that. And then the next thing I know, it's just the record book of people catching gray char. And I'm like, oh. Rude. 1.2. Fucking practically there now. It's gonna be the last like 3 that really suck. 1.2 still seems far away. 12 level ups, that's massive. But when you get to like the last 3, that's gonna be the real just shoot me. I think I was 2.7 though the last time Jake rated me. So that was a nice. I felt like I've made good progress. This one's a little meatier. It's still not very big. I'm using small boilies too though, so can't really be mad. What are you? I like the grass. It makes it one of the mere leather linear. There's probably another one in there. Framed. Got it. I remembered. They all look the same from that distance. I still need so many of them. I got another 1 or 2 today. Frame-sided albino. Frame-sided ghost. Yeah, I forgot golden tench. Linear albino. Linear ghost. Starvis. Scaleless ghost. Scaleless albino. Mere Starvis. Yeah, it's the worst fishing game ever created, Vegito. They don't know how to fish. So rumor has it they made like a video, not making fun of themselves, but like showing how they like were trying to learn how to fish. Which I think is hilarious. Because they did a horrible job learning how to fish. No, I don't agree there. Their hunting game was a decent game and fun, and while a bit goofy at times, at least guns still shot bullets. And was the best hunting game I've ever played. Unlike their fishing game, which was the worst. I never experienced that problem with Hunter. I found their animals were, except for legendary animals, their animals were pretty good. As far as, like, you could get a reasonable distance from them without it being painful. The new Hunter game that came out, Call of the Hunter or whatever the fuck it was called, that one, I thought the animals were far too sensitive to movement. That game was frustrating. Way of the Hunter, yeah. Though it had a compelling story. I never had that problem either. I definitely hunted ducks and geese with friends. No, I didn't, Houston. I think I fucked up along the way and didn't accept a quest and can't figure out where I missed it. Yeah, I think where Call of the Wild really fucked up was they stopped giving a shit about progression and just started selling everything to you with the DLCs. That made the game. That's why I don't play it anymore. I'm nothing like. It's the opposite of this game, where I just said I love this game because I can always come back and have something to progress towards. That game, there's nothing to progress towards. It's buy it with the new DLC. That is the biggest complaint I have with that game. What I expected from the fishing game. But it was very fun at first. It had a really interesting leveling progression. I felt for a long time like I had a lot to do, and then they started just giving money away, like when they'd have server issues or bugs, they'd, sorry about that, here's 50 grand. No, I want to earn my money. I got a crazy amount of hours out of Call of the Wild, so I really can't complain too much. Just like every game, you eventually hit a point where you don't go back, and then all you remember is the why you don't go back and not so much the good. Yeah, I've got, oh, not as much time as I thought in that game, but still, 225 hours. It's also 69 gigs. Nice. I've turned that dumb thing off so many times, I have no idea how people can still use it. time is it? I might sleep so I can be up in time for school tomorrow. I already did a stream earlier today, so I don't have to feel too guilty. Yeah, and they're kind with the DLCs. You don't. Only one of your friends has to buy it. You don't all have to buy it. Like this, there's definitely some good things to say about the company. Except when it comes to their new fishing game, which is just fucking garbage. They got fishing rails wrong in a fishing game. Like I said, it'll be like guns that don't shoot bullets. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, and it seems foolish streams like, I guess they don't really care about playtime, just selling it. But you'd think people would be, you'd have longer, to come up with a new DLC, to come up with a new map if you gave people bullshit to grind for in each DLC. Instead of them just getting the instant gratification of all the weapons and go murder all the new animals. A photon blaster. I mean, they did give you like an M1 Garand in one of the DLCs. Alright, one random thing before I go to bed. Wait, my bait. Always 3. Just a random spot. It was a little far. My brain quit working. I forgot what I was looking for. New sturgeon spot? Or you just go to an old one? I usually go to the sturgeon spots just after hardcore's caught them all. I haven't gone after whitefish in a while. I should again. I've been too lazy to float fish for bait. Though somebody keeps sending me a gudgeon now and then. They're probably rotten. Not yet. Be fresh tomorrow. The chub ate all your bleak? They do that. Where's the secret spot? I don't know what it is. I don't have the map up. I'll show you when I go there next. Looks like my random YOLO spot is not going to pay off. Feels bad. Could have been great. Should have just thrown out straight. Alright, one more. See, I don't really want to sleep. I just convince myself I do. Oh my god, I have so many fucking tabs open. That's nuts. Who'd have thought? Fuck a catfish? Nah, man, don't do that. I think you can go to jail for that. Congrats, Noel. Should have saved for a Venga, you fool. You were so close to that Venga. What were you thinking? I deleted that fucking app. Installed it. Unselected it from my... It doesn't even exist in my dashboard anymore, yet somehow you fuckers can still interact with it. Makes me mad. Nah, you want the third Sagara still, even if you're gonna go Vengas. Though I think I'm, like I said, I'm gonna buy an Overlord and then TIs. I'm gonna do it backwards. I'm gonna buy the rods first because I can kinda use them with the Overlords. Because the Overlord's what, 80 break? And the Venga's 99? Oh! Oh! What's this? Go random spot. I mean, it's all deleted. There's nothing. There's literally nothing under my, whatever their extensions anymore. Yeah, it's 10k more, I think, for Venga over a Sagara. And then in order to use a Venga, you also need a $25,000 rod or $20,000 rod. I think it's $22,000 rod. Otherwise, Venga's worthless. Yeah, but like, there's no need to use a Venga for anything but sturgeon fishing. Terminus thing with 67 months. Nobody fishes for those streams. Oh no. Okay. Pizza, thanks for the 43 months. Yeah, join the fishing cult. Is that a ready? No. Thought it was a red fish. Yeah. Touch him. Why was that so hard to reel in? Don't talk to me like that. It's rude. I'll ban you. I've been really working on my weight. See, there's no such thing as a hot spot. You just throw bait and there's fish. Look, found them. It's like the 2 best fish I've caught in the last hour and a half at all the hot spots. He did get his bait restored. He didn't deserve it, and the devs made him feel guilty about it and bad by calling him an idiot, but basically, he got it back for nothing. You're a legend now, Dreams. The man who deleted his inventory managed to make a 3-click mistake without recognizing it. It's the biggest gaming blunder I've ever made. Dreams 2022. Rip. He deleted his entire inventory of bait. I taught him how to mass delete, and he was trying to delete his dead bait fish, and instead deleted all of his bait. But the devs restored it, so like everybody who trashes the RF4 devs, they deserved like a tiny bit of credit for being nice enough to give it back to him. Mid-game spinning setup, like an HSV, and I don't know what rod off the top of my head. I'd have to double check what the... You didn't hit select all, though. That's not true. No, I proved this the other night, that you're a liar, and you shift-clicked it. No, you did not hit select all, or you would have deleted all your boilies. Because your boilies are under bait. And if you click select all, it selects your boilies. And you didn't delete your boilies. Oh, you told me you didn't. So now I'm just getting mixed. Now I can't trust anything you say anymore. You told me specifically you didn't delete your boilies, which meant you would have had to have done this. But alright. Whatever you... Either way, you made a big gaming blunderbuss. Where do the lies end? Maybe you never deleted it at all. The problem with spinning is what setup is you have to find a rod that works for what lures you want to use, because you have to worry about the cast weight of lures. Don't ever buy this rod. But yeah, so like you can go with a wide test range, but you're never going to get like really good casts out of it. But it's a good, like this is a good trolling rod for an HSV. I don't know what meta is, but this casts a pretty wide variety of lures. And if you're trolling, you can throw small lures on heavy rods because you just let line out as you're driving. Yeah, that's what I figured. This rod seems like pretty good size. You can run a pretty heavy oversized line on your HSV, even when you get an upgraded friction brake. Always try to go like one step up over with rods, I think, because it just helps for the future. Including your boilies. Alright. Even better. Aren't you a tiny little idiot? Is fishing good for the channel? I don't know. I'm here. Could not be here. So I'd say overall, probably. Oh, rain? That's my favorite time to fish amber. I was going to bed. I should move over there now that it's raining, though. What a shitty day of fishing. I still have this guy to look at. He's cute. He doesn't look very albino, honestly. What are the odds of albino in a human being? It's not genetic, is it? It's just random? I need to know more about it. You know what? We haven't done this today, and we've been doing it the last few days of fishing. Albino in people. Bye-bye. We know what does it. Uh-huh. It is passed on. There's two types. One that just affects the eyes, ocular albinism, and then one that affects the skin, hair, and eyes. Both parents have to have the recessive gene in order for a kid to have it, to get it. If both parents carry the gene, there's a 1 in 4 chance that their child will be albino. And a 1 in 2 chance that their child will be a carrier. Carriers don't have it, but can pass on the gene. Crazy. Some types of OA are passed on in an X-linked inheritance pattern. This pattern affects boys and girls differently. Girls who get albinism, whatever, we know what we're saying, become carriers, while boys who get it will have albinism. Wow. When a mother is a carrier of an X-linked type of albinism, each of her daughters has a 1 in 2 chance of becoming a carrier, and each of her sons has a 1 in 2 chance of being albino. When a father has it, his daughters will become carriers, and his sons will not be albino and will not be carriers. Crazy. Pork chop, thank you for the 16 months. Yeah, the Model 1 is very bendy. I would recommend the Super Duty for trolling over the Model 1. Personally. It works, but it's so bendy that it makes it really hard to lift the fish up high enough into the boat, especially when you get to Archipelagio. Or you just game and stream until you become albino? Yeah, it's bad on your eyes. You'll have bad eyesight. It's close. My hair is going gray from chat's stupid fishing questions and asking me 36 times a day why their line broke again. Dreams, you deleted your whole inventory. I just can't trust your opinion. You threw a whole unopened bag of hot dogs in the oven and your house burned down? What do I do? You must have preheated the oven first. That's where you went wrong. You gotta put them in the oven cold. You just net everything. But it's not easy. The point is, the other one, I can just lift the motherfucker right up out of the water. With the Model 1, y'all had to tell me, lean back and look up at the fucking sky, Richard, with your net out and blindly net it. And now you're telling me that's easy. I literally had to do that. I could not net it. I spent like 10 minutes trying to net one. It's not my fault you catch tiny fucking fish that your rod can lift up. Some of us catch fucking chunk pandas. Energy low? Nah, it's fine. Look at it. It's yeller. Wait until you find out that all of the yellow colors on the bottom of my screen are the same. Then you can really be mad. Text in chat, experience, energy, food, tension, they're all the same color to me. Yellow. I'm not mad at chat, just did dreams mainly. And OP Blake. About the hot dogs. That's just something I'll be mad about for the rest of my life. Till the day I die. Take the oxygen mask off. Hold the little thing to my throat because I started smoking again. OP Blake. And then I'll die. What are you? Just a Mira? I also think all Russian fishing players, especially if you carp fish, should invest in one lead pyramid sinker. Maybe not lead, because I'm probably going to get poisoned holding this thing, catching fish, but to set on your reel button so you don't got to do anything while you're reeling in boring ass carp. It's helpful. I run out of corn. It's my cue to go. I don't know how to make a macro. I know how to set a lead weight on a keyboard. It's probably against the rules to use a macro. I wouldn't be surprised. RF4 devs be serious, yo. not reel fishing. Yeah, it's an automatic reel. Large vape batteries. Oh, I have some of those that are fried right here. I could handle those instead of lead. Time to go collect my like 100 silver an hour I've made out here. It has logged a bunch of hours. And I drop it on my dick and toe all the time. not like simultaneous, but both. And that makes things funny. Everyone likes to see someone else get hurt. Oh, the other day it slid down the leg of my shorts and it was stabbing me in the gooch. That's a really bad place probably to have lead. Just your sweaty gooch absorbing lead. My toe dick, yeah, my big toe dick. I mean, if I catch a beluga trophy, it's going to be setting a lead weight on it, so they won't have to ban me. Well, you don't need a macro and you can just set something on your keyboard. Alright, I'm going to bed. Look at us, we're getting some money. Who thought? 1.2%. I'll make it eventually. 2 weeks, 3 weeks. By the time my kid's in college. I wasn't planning on having more children. That was $500 in 3.5 hours streams. I could have made that much bleak fishing. Every time. I haven't broke 200 silver an hour on Amber. Yet. I'm going to bed though. Thanks for being here. Thanks for everything you do for me. I'll see you in the morning.